Hey, welcome back to the Sex Talk. I did take a little bit of a hiatus from the Sex Talk for a variety of reasons, but I'm back. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about non-monogamy during a pandemic.
Sex Talk.
The Sex Talk.
So a lot of people have been writing in, a lot of my clients have been discussing how the heck do we stay non-monogamous during a pandemic? So what's happening in the non-monogamy community is there are a few different things happening, but one of the main things I'm seeing is forced monogamy, and simply because a lot of non-monogamous people have primary relationships with primary partners, and so they are now being forced to quarantine, stay at home with one partner. So I've been seeing that, and we've been labeling that forced monogamy, although I think it's a little bit of a misnomer, and I think that it really undermines the idea that as non-monogamous people, it's not necessarily about the sex, that it is really about of the connection and the ongoing communication and learning and transformation. What I do want to talk about today is how we can continue that even in the face of a pandemic. The other thing that I'm seeing is partners that are whose partners, maybe their partner is like quarantining with another partner, and this partner is sort of left out over here and not able to see their partner because of no one wants to break their quarantine. People are quarantining together and this partner is sort of left out, or that's okay. Because it's eventually going to end, but this person is now having forced celibacy. So we're seeing a forced monogamy, forced celibacy, again, terms that I didn't make up, that my clients have been using, because that's how the initial feeling comes up. And what I've been working with my clients is helping them reframe that, because it's not forced anything. Obviously trying to see this as doing something for the greater good. We are actually trying to flatten the curve, which basically means that we are trying to take off the weight of how this is affecting the medical community, right? So this is not to say that we're not going to contract COVID or we're not going to get sick. We might. But the key here is that we want the health services to support us when and if that does happen. So, people are kind of acting like, I don't want to get sick. This sort of like paranoia around getting sick. And it's really more about flattening the curve. And so when I talk to my clients about this forced monogamy, I think there's a lot of panic underlying this idea that we don't want to get sick, as opposed to we're just trying to alleviate the pressure that it's going to put on the medical community. So how to stay non-monogamous during during this pandemic? Well, one of the most important things is to talk about non-monogamy. I came across this great worksheet recently, and I've been giving it to my clients. It's the relationship anarchy, and I actually found it on a Reddit thread under non-monogamy and on Reddit, and I found it to be really great. I've been sharing it with clients. It's opening up conversations that they get to have now with each other while in quarantine. What better time to reestablish some guidelines, to talk about what you want to see in the future. Look, we have this time, and I love to see it as a gift, because for me it actually has been a gift. I get to stay at home. I get to work on the things that I'm really passionate about. Hopefully starting to make videos will be something that I do again, because I do love making them. Writing is my big passion, and so I've been able to write a lot, and I've been starting to write my memoirs. That's a completely different video. But what I want to say is that this time is allowing you to really get clear about a lot of things. You know, what's working for you in your life? What's not working for you in your life? What's working for you in this relationship? What's not working for you in this relationship? What do you like about your other relationships? Which partner is bringing what to you? Sometimes during life we can process all of these things, but sometimes it's nice to have a little downtime to get a lot more clarity. So I'm really encouraging people to look at this time differently. Look at it as a gift. You're not going to get this opportunity again. Once we are back to living life, we're going to be back to doing things very close to normal. Working, making money, paying bills. I don't want to kind of gloss over this part about paying bills because I know that has been a real struggle for people. But this actually is more about non-monogamy, and I think that I know that this conversation cannot not happen without the conversation about finances, and I think I'm going to do another video on dealing with your finances during COVID. But the bottom line is, let's try to view this in a different way. Start having conversations about non-monogamy with your partners. If you're stuck at home with your partner, see, I'm using the terminology too, and I don't even like it. Don't use the term stuck at home. Say, quarantining or whatever. If you're at home with a partner and, this is a wonderful time to find some exercises. There's a really great workbook too. It's called the Jealousy Workbook by Kathy Labriola. And I'll put that in the link in the as well. But basically it's got some great stuff about what you like about monogamy, what you don't like about monogamy, what you like about non-monogamy, are you non-monogamous, all of this stuff. And bottom line is, get clear about what rules you want in non-monogamy. They don't always work for us. Obviously, monogamy doesn't always work for us either. This is why many of us have opted to live something that feels a little bit more that resonates with us a little bit more, that's a little bit more transformative, that allows us to grow, as opposed to monogamy sort of like forces us to go into a lane. This is a great time to review those rules, review those guidelines, review the growth that it's allowed you to make, review which areas you need to work on. There's these really terrible sort of like feelings around non-monogamy that if you are I would say this is rhetoric. This is really false rhetoric, that if you are jealous, somehow you're not doing monogamy right. Bullshit. I call bullshit on that. Jealousy is a human emotion, one of the universal human emotions. You are going to feel jealous in non-monogamy. You feel jealous in monogamy. There's no situation where jealousy doesn't really exist. For some people, for some relationships, it's better than others, but for the most part, you're going to experience some form of jealousy at some point, and it doesn't matter if you're monogamous or non-monogamous. So get that thinking out. If you're trying to embark on a non-monogamous lifestyle and it's been difficult for you, this is a great time to do some reading. A lot of really great books out there. Obviously, The Ethical Slut is one of my absolute favorites. I've talked about it ad nauseum. More Than Two is another really great book. The Jealousy Workbook by Kathy Labriola is great, and this Relationship Anarchy is really good. There's tons of forums on non-monogamy. I've got a ton of videos on non-monogamy here on my channel. So watch them, do a deep dive, do some writing around it, have some conversations with your partners around it. Whatever creative outlet you like, drawing, whatever, do some stuff around that and see what comes up, and use this time to really get a better understanding of how you want to live your life in 2021. This is your time. This is your downtime. It's like a vacation almost, although it's not a staycation, to review your life. review your non-monogamous life and find what's working, find what's not working, figure out ways to tweak things, have conversations, because next year you're going to get to live your best life, live the life that you actually are thinking about, like consciously, conscientiously, and deliberately creating. All right, I will be back with lots more videos. I'm super excited. Talk to you soon. Bye.
The Sex Talk.
The Sex Talk.